Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be doing a makeup tutorial with mostly drugstore products. I have a lot of new things here, so you'll get to see some first impressions, but I also have some old favorites from the drugstore that I really want to show you guys because I tend to not use too many drugstore products on my channel, but I do really love some of these. So let's get started. So I've actually already primed my eyes because I don't have a good drugstore eyeshadow base. And I'm going to be going in with the Carli Bybel BH Cosmetics palette, and this I consider drugstore because they sell it at like Face Values and other places like that. But I'm going to take this nude shade first of all and just get this all over the lid. I think you guys seen me do the exact same look with this palette before, but I really like to keep it simple, and honestly there's not like too many drugstore eyeshadows that I love, like for an everyday look. There's a lot of really pretty glitters and things like that, but just not a whole ton of like everyday shadows that I love. So this palette I definitely love. And then I'm just going to be taking this medium shade here on this same big fluffy brush and just buffing this into the crease. And now that that crease color is kind of blended in, I'm going to take a shader brush and this like pinky shade right here, just all over the lid, nothing fancy. And that's it for eyeshadow, just keeping it really simple. And then for mascara, I'm going to be using this L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise mascara. And I actually had this once before, but I had the waterproof version because I tend to always just buy the waterproof if it's available. But lately, the way I've been removing my makeup, I've been really liking non-waterproof mascara just because it's easier to take off, and I find it's like a little gentler on my skin around that area. So I'm actually liking this non-waterproof version better than the waterproof because it's easier to remove, and I've only tried it once, but the day that I wore it I didn't really have bad transfer problems like I've been having with every mascara lately. It also layers really nice. So I'm going to put some on now, and then throughout the video I'll keep adding on more layers. And moving on to skin, I'm going to be using the Wet n Wild Photofocus foundation. I have the shade Soft Ivory, which I think is the second lightest one. And I bought quite a few Wet n Wild products actually because I saw them used in some other tutorials, and I just never used Wet n Wild before. I was always kind of more of like a L'Oreal or I guess Maybelline kind of girl, and I always kind of just looked down on Wet n Wild and didn't think they were as good. But after seeing other people use this and rave about this, I was like super curious to try it. So it kind of has this weird like paddle on it that I guess you have to dip on, like do this onto your face with, which is a little weird. I don't know if I like this, but we'll try it out. Ooh, that was a big dollop. Okay. I don't know how much I'm gonna need, but that looks good for now. And then I'm just going to try to blend this out with my damp beauty blender. So that first initial layer is kind of blended in pretty good, but I want some more coverage, so I'm going to spatula on some more product. And I forgot to mention, I didn't use a primer because my favorite drugstore primer is the NYX Angel Veil, and I don't have it at the moment, and I tried to buy it just now when I was buying these Wet n Wild products, but they didn't have it at the drugstore I was at, so I couldn't get it. But the NYX Angel Veil is definitely my favorite. That would be my recommended drugstore primer if you're looking for a good one. But sometimes you don't need primer, and this is a nice way to test this foundation to see how it will last without any primer. And first impressions of this foundation is it's a little bit difficult to blend on my skin, I'm finding. Maybe I did need a primer. And it also has a really weird smell, but that usually goes away, so hopefully it's okay. I'm not so sure about this color match. It's probably a little too light. So the foundation is looking okay. It's blended in pretty good so far. We'll see how it looks later on, but I'm going to be using the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Eraser Concealer. I have mine in the shade Fair, and this is just my all-time favorite drugstore concealer. This might just be my all-time favorite concealer, hands down. It's super easy to apply. It blends out really easy, like with your finger super quickly, and it really does mask dark circles really well. So I love this stuff. Can't recommend it enough. So under eye concealer is on, and now I'm going to set it with this e.l.f. I'm not sure what it's called because it doesn't say on it, but it's the little square. I believe it's just like the under eye setting powder or under eye brightening powder, something like that. And this is like my favorite setting powder other than the Laura Mercier. So I just take this on a brush. I find that it applies really nicely with a little brush like this. This is the Real Techniques setting brush. And I just love this powder. This is what I used forever until I got the Laura Mercier. And it works really good. And it's $1. So you really can't beat it. If you're looking for a good under eye setting powder, this is the one. Okay, and concealer is set, and now we're going to move on to contour, which is the next Wet n Wild product. This is their Megaglo Makeup Stick Contour, and this is in the shade Oaks on You. And this is a little scary. It looks very orangey, but I've seen some other people use the medium shade of this and it turns out beautifully even though it looks so dark. I bought the lighter shade just because I am like much fairer, so the darker shade probably would have been a little too intense, but on first swipe this looks extremely orange, so hopefully this blends out. And I'm just going to try to contour all over with it just to test it out. Okay, so that's enough for now, I think, and then I'm just going to take the other side of my damp beauty blender and try to blend this out. And it is not blending, that is an orange tiger stripe. Okay, maybe we need another tool here, but we'll keep trying. Okay, pause, we need another brush. Okay, I'm trying to move quickly, but this is the Real Techniques Duo Fiber Contour Brush, and maybe a brush is a little better than a sponge for this. Okay, so switching to this Duo Fiber Contour Brush seems to be working a little better, but it's not very blendable. But this was only a few dollars, so I didn't have super high hopes for this, but after seeing other people use it in videos, I was like, oh, that looks amazing, like, this has to be good. Maybe if you're tanner, this is very orange. Okay, the cream contour is blended out like as much as I could get it without it completely taking off all my makeup, and first impression is it's very like yellowy, so maybe if you have like a little bit of tanner skin tone it would look more flattering, but it's not bad. Like for a few dollars this isn't bad at all. I would probably use this product again. And I'm just going to go in and set all of that contour area with my NYX Matte Bronzer, which is a really nice matte bronzer from the drugstore. It's really hard to find good bronzy shades from the drugstore without them looking orange and really nasty. And this one's really nice, but it is very pigmented. So for me, I'm super fair, and this just applies super dark. So I'm going in with this Duo Fiber brush. Again, this is another Real Techniques Duo Fiber face brush, and I'm just trying to blend this out. Like I already got too much and I barely dabbed my brush in there. So I'm just gonna kind of buff this out and try to set all that contour. Okay, now that I look like an Oompa Loompa with an orange stripy face from this stuff, I'm going to go back in with my damp beauty blender and I'm going to use the foundation side, and I'm just going to try to blend this in. You're not supposed to really do this over powder, but I haven't set the rest of my face, so it's okay. And I find that using a damp beauty blender over powder is okay. So I'm just going to try to blend this in and make it look a little bit more natural. Okay, so I blended in the bronzer a little bit more, and then I also applied another coat of mascara, and I have a little bit to clean up there after. And I'm going to go in with the two highlighters that I got, and they're both Wet n Wild. This is their big one, their To Reflect Shimmer palette, and this is in the shade Boozy Brunch, and then this is their Megaglo highlighting powder, which is a little smaller, in the shade Blossom Glow. So I think I'm going to go in with this Boozy Brunch one first, because this is just really exciting looking, and I'm not sure how this is going to turn out, but I'm going to take my highlighter brush, and this one looks a little more subtle than the other one, so I'm going to do this one down the center of my face. Oh, this is a nice like goldy color. Yeah, this is nice. Okay, but maybe a little bit too goldy for my fair skin, so I'm going to go in with this Blossom Glow one, because I really love this shade of like light pinky highlights. It's really nice on my fair skin, so I'm going to take that and do this on my cheekbones. Oh yeah, this is really pretty. So I definitely prefer this Blossom Glow one. It's a little lighter pink and it's a little bit more flattering on my skin tone. The Boozy Brunch kind of was more of a bright gold highlight, which is really beautiful, but I think I just need to be a little bit more tanner to pull it off. And then for blush, I'm going to go in with everyone's old standby, and this is the Milani Baked Blush in Luminoso, which is like a beautiful peachy, shiny, like wonderful color. So I'm just going to blend this onto the cheeks. If you don't have this blush, you need it in your life. It's one of the best blushes ever, drugstore or not. It's just a beautiful, beautiful color. I feel it lasts really well. It just has beautiful pigmentation, but it's shimmery and looks natural. It's just perfect. Okay, so I didn't set my face because I don't have a powder from the drugstore currently. There's a few that I like. I like the Rimmel Stay Matte. I think I've used the L'Oreal True Match powder before. There's a few good ones you can find, but I think I'm actually not going to need a powder with this foundation. It kind of set dry to a powdery finish. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in my brows and finish up my mascara off camera, and then I'll be right back. Alright, so I finished up the brows and added bottom lash mascara with that same Lash Paradise mascara, and then I'm going to go back into my Carli Bybel palette with just a little shader brush just to add a little bit of inner corner highlight very quickly. And that's it for the face. To finish off, I'm going to add a lip gloss, and I love the NYX Butter Gloss formulas. I've had these in the past and I love them. The shade Creme Brulee and Meringue, I believe, are both really beautiful, but I decided to try a nudie shade this time, and this is the shade Fortune Cookie, which a lot of people talk about. So, oh yeah, this is pretty. Yep, that Fortune Cookie shade is really beautiful. It's a nice, like, true, like, light nude. It's very pretty. This would go well on top of a lot of different stuff. Okay, that's it. That's all for this drugstore Get Ready With Me tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing my first impressions of some of these new products and got some recommendations for some of my old favorites. Overall, I think this look turned out okay. I think I need to play with the products a little bit more to get a true review of them. But overall, this is the simple everyday look I was going for, so I'm really happy with all these purchases. As always, all the products that I used will be listed in the description box down below. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already so you don't miss my next upload. I upload 2 days a week on Monday and Thursday, and thank you so much for watching.